supervisors and mayor, we asking that you reach into the money that the government has given you and extend it out to stop putting it in your pockets, because we need it more than you do. And so we asking that you vote for the living cost wage today. And we're going to keep coming back until you do. We will not give up.
So next we have Dolly Clemente.
Good morning to all my brothers and sisters. My name is Dolly Clemente. I'm a caregiver like you. We all need a good living wage. The good living wage. We have to have a good living wage above poverty. We are in San Francisco. We are paying our taxes. We take care of the poor ones. Nobody would like to do our job. We have to have a good living wage.
See, y'all choking her up, supervisors. Give it to us now.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dolly. Next we have Ann James, San Francisco Unit of Church Women United.
Hello, everyone. The Church Women United ladies are sitting right down there. We support people who are poor and who need help. And our Christian values tell us that we need to support this effort to have a living wage.
That's right.
And we ask you all to follow your conscience and think about how important it is to support those that do so much good for the city. So we hope this minimum compensation ordinance will pass. And we are praying and hoping for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Next we have Mira Ingram, the IHSS Consumer.
My name is Mira Ingram, and I've been receiving in-home support services for about 15 years now. My last 3 home health aides have all been, I've lost all 3 of them because they've been evicted due to Ellis Act evictions and unaffordable rent increases. My current home health aide lives 2 counties away in Contra Costa because he couldn't afford to stay in San Francisco. Once he's gone, I don't know who I'm going to be able to find to help me. These workers need a living wage to be able to survive and stay in San Francisco. There's a lot of subsidized housing in San Francisco with seniors and disabilities who are living independently because of in-home support services. We need to make sure that workers can stay in this city and earn a wage for the hard work that they do. Thank you.
Thank you. So next we have Nancy and Cynthia. Non-profit workers.
Hello, my name is Nancy, and we are here to support the non-profit people. And it is a shame that people cannot be able to buy enough food to eat because they have to pay the rent. This is not living wage. Non-profit workers are people that are serving the community, and they have to be compensated. We are not asking for pity. We are asking for our rights. We have to be together because this cannot work. It seems like people that are in the places representing us are not smart enough to understand that we are living in San Francisco. That's why we are here. And the people that are not here, it's because they're working. They're serving the community and they cannot even be here. They don't even have the time to be here because they have to be working. And we have to be together to fight together. Can we do it?
Yes.
¡Se puede! ¡Se puede!
Sí se puede.
¡Sí se puede!
Sí se puede.
¡Sí se puede! Gracias.
Nancy, come on. Anita Lau with IHSS Home Care Worker.
仲有，因為而家三藩市嗰個物價又上升得好高，同埋嗰個租金又貴，咁我哋嘅生活嘅工資太低啦，因為嗰個最低工資。咁希望呢個 MCO 咧會通過，今日希望咧市參處一定要通過俾我哋。
So the living cost in San Francisco is really high, and it's specific for the rental cost is really high. So we hope we can pass the MCO today. So we hope all the supervisors can vote yes, and we can pass the MCO. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Anita. So next we have Maria Esther Ventura from IHSS Home Care Worker.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Esther Ventura y soy trabajadora en casa por casi 30 años.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Ventura. I am a home care worker in San Francisco for almost 30 years.
Desde el inicio desde muchos años hemos estado trabajando junto con la coalición de la campaña en salario digno en San Francisco.
Since the beginning, for many years, we have been working together with the Living Wage Coalition in San Francisco.
Juntos hemos logrado muchos logros durante todos estos años. Es muy importante tener un salario digno porque el trabajo que nosotros hacemos es muy importante para la sociedad. Damos más personas necesitadas en la ciudad de San Francisco. Las personas con discapacidades y la gente mayor de edad que quieren vivir con dignidad e independencia en sus casas.
For us, it's very important to have a decent salary because the work we do is very important in our society. We care for the most needy in San Francisco. We take care of the people with disability and the elderly who want to live with dignity and independence in their homes.
El salario digno nos da la posibilidad de evitar en nuestras mismas comunidades transformar la economía de San Francisco. El salario digno también nos da dignidad a los trabajadores y también nos da la posibilidad de mantener a nuestras familias viviendo en San Francisco. Sí se puede, muchas gracias. Sí se puede.
The living wage gave us the possibility of investing in our community, transforming San Francisco economy. The living wage also gave us dignity to the home care workers and also gave us the possibility of keeping our families living in San Francisco. Sí se puede. Gracias.
Thank you. So next we have Dorothy J. Levine from Church Women United.
Thank you and good morning to all. Friends, we are here from Church Women United to support this cause. You know, if we would just do what thus said the Lord, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Everything else will be added unto you. Now, those persons who will withhold their vote for this living wage, think about that because eternity is coming. And with all the things that's going on in our world, we better take note because God is coming back. So please, when you go to vote, the workers of the low wages and do what thus said the Lord. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dorothy. So next we have Maria Luz Torres. She's a child care advocate.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? So my name is Maria Lustori. I'm with Parent Voices, and I work with parents who are low income, working, or on welfare. And I belong to the sandwich generation. I live with my mom, who needs an IHSS worker, and I live with my children. My 2 children are also working minimum wage, and the only reason why we can stay in the city is because we all live together and pool our resources, and we have subsidized housing. Without that, we cannot live in the city. I also got childcare for my kids, and I felt lucky for having done that. This morning, while we were watching news, the market seems like rosy, everything's up. And so my daughter said, well, you know, they look at the market, meaning the stock market, as an indicator of how the economy is doing. But often it's an indication of how the rich people are doing. We are left out of that economy. And I think it's very important that we lift everybody up. We cannot have justice while our low-wage workers are at the very lowest and are not benefiting from that economy. So please, $17 an hour is not even enough to live in the city. I think it is fair. I think we could even make it higher. Eventually it will go there, but we should ask that for the workers that we're advocating for today as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. So next we have Michael Lyon from Gray Panther.
You really wonder what the hell kind of society we have where people who give care are so incredibly devalued. What does it say about us? There is an incredible crisis of long-term care coming, where the gray generation, this silver tsunami of people are not going to have anybody to take care of them. And part of the reason is because the pay for those people is so low. We need to have a huge, well-trained, respected, and well-paid workforce of people to take care of us and to take care of the people who are taking care of us now when they get older. So this MCO thing has to go through today. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. So last we have Jen Garcia with UFCW Local 648.
Good afternoon, everyone. Local 648 is here to support all working people. We represent over 4,000 retail workers here in San Francisco, and every day our workers with union jobs are having a harder and harder time to stay in the city. They're having to move further and further out. And so all of the workers that belong with UFCW Local 648 support workers, the home health care workers, and the minimum wage that can let people live with some dignity as they take care of our most prized possessions, our elders, our moms, our grandmas. Who else do we have that does this for us? We all deserve dignity as we work and dignity as we live, and we should have that in San Francisco. And that's why UFCW Local 648 is here today to support the workers and the minimum wage ordinance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jen. So now we will all gather together and we're going to go to the second floor in front of room 250. And from there, we're going to go to each individual supervisor's office. Let them know we mean business. And we're also going to hand them the petition cards we've been collecting for the last couple of years.
personally about the importance of this difficult work and how challenging it can be. It was in-home support services workers who took care of my grandmother when she could no longer take care of herself. We have more than 20,000 workers who support 22,000 low-income seniors and people with disabilities in San Francisco. And if it was not for this important work these individuals do every day, so many of our seniors and adults living with disabilities would not be able to stay in their homes and get the care that we know they need. In addition to our in-home support services workers, we have many nonprofit organizations and their workers who provide essential services in San Francisco to those of all income levels and backgrounds. This ranges from healthcare to homelessness to workforce development to housing, domestic violence prevention to child care, and so many others. These workers are on the front lines of taking care of our most vulnerable communities. Our in-home support services and nonprofit workers provide tremendous support and care for so many throughout San Francisco, but they often are paid the least, and like so many of our residents, are too often struggling to get by in an expensive city like San Francisco. We have led the way in raising our minimum wage to one of the highest in the country, and we are continuing that leadership today with this legislation. As a result, we have an ordinance that reflects our commitment in taking care of what are the lowest wage earners in San Francisco and moving them to a better place, although we know they deserve a lot more. Our in-home support service workers will see a wage increase of $3.75 from their current wage over the course of the next 5 years. The minimum ordinance will also raise the wages of our city's contracted nonprofit workers for $1.50 over their current wage effective July 1 of 2019. And we should also mention the Minimum Compensation Ordinance and how it's impacted the airport workers and their increase. San Francisco has some of the highest paying jobs in the nation, but we need to make sure that our economic success doesn't leave low and middle income families behind. By harnessing our thriving economy, we can lift up those communities who have been left behind for far too long and give them opportunities to succeed. This includes investing in what we're doing here today, and I am just really grateful to all of you for your hard work and the work that you continue to do to take care of so many of our elderly and disabled folks throughout San Francisco. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Supervisor Sandy Fewer, who is a lead sponsor on this legislation.
Thank you, Mayor Green. I'd like to thank a couple of people here today that actually helped to make this happen. Of course, our labor partners and their leaders here today. The San Francisco Labor Council, SEIU 10-1, and SIU 2015. Without their urging and direction, I don't think this would have happened, and the tenacity actually to stay at the table. I also would like to thank my co-sponsors, Supervisor Ronan, Supervisor Yee, and Supervisor Kim, and to recognize with us today, Supervisor Jeff Sheehy, who actually started this conversation. I am honored to have helped create this legislation and to be part of this historic moment. This legislation is important for 3 reasons. One, the immediate relief that it will give to over 20,000 of our low-wage workers. These workers who take care of our elderly or disabled, people who staff our nonprofits, they themselves are struggling to make ends meet in the city. And who are they? They make $15 an hour currently. The average age of these workers is 58 years old. 88% of them are women, and almost 80% of them are people of color. They are on the verge of homelessness themselves. Second, this legislation demonstrates that we value this workforce. They do important, necessary work that binds our communities together, that allows our disabled and also our seniors to age in their own homes and with greater actually lifts up the work that they do, and the city as a whole recognizes how important that work is. And third, this reinforces our commitment to seniors and people with disabilities, children and their families, and we are planning for the future of our senior population. That will increase 69% from 2010 to 2030. This, to be frank, is not a living wage in San Francisco. This will give workers some relief, but this is definitely not a living wage in San Francisco. We are experiencing the largest wealth gap that we have ever had historically in San Francisco. And these workers will continue to struggle as they do their hard work. This legislation today actually gives them some relief, but let's just be frank, it is not a living wage here in San Francisco. Now I'd like to introduce from the Labor Council, Rudy Gonzalez.
I have to tell you that there are a lot of things that are left unfinished, and it's important. And coming from the labor movement, where miners and longshoremen in this very city were murdered for standing together, wow, was it a sign of the times that our workers were able to stand together. From electricians to teachers to Teamsters, airport workers, everybody stood shoulder to shoulder to make sure that this important legislation was realized. And I want to take a moment to thank and recognize the leadership of our Labor Council, our President Mike Casey, our Secretary-Treasurer Olga Miranda, and local Lady Senators here in the audience. Without your mentorship and compliance of the Council, we wouldn't have been able to negotiate this historic agreement. I want to say that coming from our movement, we're used to being attacked. We're used to being in a moment of resistance or in an existence of resistance. It's important, and I want our electeds to hear this. It's also okay to celebrate these wins. We have a lot of things that we disagree on policy-wise, but this is a statement of our values, and this is a time to celebrate, because the lowest paid people in our city are getting the attention and the commitment of this fine government. And this is an example of people coming to a table with leadership. An initiative that was started 18 months when some people weren't even in elected office at the time, and coming together and saying, we're going to pick up the pieces, we're going to do the hard work, we're going to commit our staff, commit this city, our budget, and our values to doing something for the people who need it most. And when I say the people who need it most, I also want to include the clients. We talk about our aging population, but there are also disabled children that need care, and that many of our siblings in Local 2015 take care of. Some of the most vulnerable in our city who need residential care and addiction treatment and counseling services and housing services and supportive services, they're being served not only by our public employees in our city, but by our nonprofit workers, and they also deserve our assistance. So I want to take a moment to recognize the incredible leadership of our Mayor Breed, who took this issue head on. And Supervisor Yee and everyone who voted to support this, Supervisor Kim, obviously. I also want to recognize the staff, our elected leaders, and folks like me get to take credit for these things, but without Andrea Russ and Kanishka and people at the team, without Carolyn and Beth, and everybody in the supervisor's office who were dedicated to seeing this thing through, and all the courageous workers, this would not have been possible. So, and then with that, I want to introduce you to one of these courageous workers, one of the people who actually gets this work done, who lets aging people age in place with dignity and with health. Claudia Arevalo, will you join me here, please?
Ya, buenos días. Así como dice Rudy, soy una trabajadora de cuidado en casa por 25 años y he andado como 22 años en el movimiento laboral. Y quiero reconocer al Mayor porque ahora es un día muy histórico donde ella firma un aumento por 4 años.
Yes, as Rudy was saying, my name is Claudia Arevalo. I'm an in-home care support services worker. I've been doing this work for 25 years. Of those 25 years, I've been involved in the union movement 22 of those years. I'm so excited to be here today. This is a historic day as Mayor Breed signs this important legislation that will have a huge impact on our lives.
Y quiero agradecer también a un grupo de supervisores que también trabajaron a la par de nosotros, igual como la Mayor. Eso quiere decir que nuestro trabajo lo están reconociendo ya.
I also want to recognize the incredible and fierce leadership leadership of several boards of supervisors who, because of their leadership, we were able to get to this final deal. I feel like as a home care service worker that finally our work is being recognized, that we do have dignity and respect.
Yo sabía que ella nos iba a apoyar porque cuando ella habló con nosotros, ella hizo el trabajo que nosotros y que yo hago. Y por eso ella tenía que apoyarnos y firmar el aumento porque el trabajo de nosotros es muy duro y mal pagado.
I remember when Mayor Reed met with many of us workers of home care, and she actually has a home care story as well. And she understands how difficult this work is. So I was not surprised when she made a decision to sign this legislation.
Esto va a ser histórico y va a ser un mensaje para todo California porque San Francisco es el número 1 que va a ganar más de todo California.
And I just want to remind everyone, without a doubt, this has a tremendous impact on the roughly 20,000 home care providers here in San Francisco. But the day after the election, this also sends a message that the city and county of San Francisco has created a new standard for home care providers. That message will be sent across the country, across the region, and throughout the state of California. Thank you, Si Se Puede.
Former Supervisor Jeff Sheehy to join us as well as the original sponsor of the legislation. Are we ready? Yeah.
All right.
Bravo. Culmination of something good that you started.
It's fantastic.
You deserve great credit.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
the most important thing to me. I'd rather win this than have won an election.